Welcome to the Hearts Entwined podcast. In this podcast, we'll be having discussions around the secrets which attract lasting, healthy, fulfilling relationships, creating a healthy mindset, and what women should know and understand about men. Introducing your host, Lyn Smith, the Queen of Hearts, relationship expert, trainer, speaker, and best-selling author of the Cupid's Bow technique. Lyn's mission is to have a positive impact in reducing divorce, domestic violence, and suicide.
Welcome to the Hearts Entwined podcast. This is your host, Lyn Smith, the Queen of Hearts. And today I've got a really lovely lady. Her name is Rae Calnan. She's a transformational therapist. And a very warm welcome to you, Rae, coming on the podcast show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Really excited to talk about something we've not discussed on the Hearts Entwined podcast before, and that is past and future life relationships. This is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting subject, going backwards in time and forwards in time.
Excellent. Love it. So, Rae, what's actually got you, for the benefit of the audience, interested in this particular subject? And can tell us a little bit about yourself and what's led you to be doing what you're doing?
Yes, certainly. Well, I come from a quite a spiritual background. So I've always been around that kind of spiritual energy since I was a child. And I've dabbled in various modalities over the years, including tarot, runes, etc. But I found as I got further on in life that, you know, everyday life got in the way, relationships, you know, all those things that kind of like take you a little bit off the spiritual path, because you're living in a you know, from teenager to your 30s, you're kind of like so caught up in relationships and working and all that kind of thing that sometimes your spiritual side just goes into the background. And although it was always there, I kind of like wasn't really doing much with it until I went to have a tarot card reading and was told I was going on a long journey, or I was going on a journey that would be transformational. And through various circumstances, I ended up going to Peru and going to Machu Picchu. And whilst on Machu Picchu, I actually went back in time. And I actually saw myself looking down on some Incans, and I was actually addressing them. I only lasted a few seconds, but it was kind of like, wow, that was amazing. And the people that were on the trip with me, although we came from various countries, we just all got on really well. It was like our souls had we were kind of like our souls had decided we would meet on that. And that kind of like got me thinking, you know, if you've got these people, it's like you've known them for years. You know, why were we all there in that, you know, in that situation, in that place, you know, and what was this, me going back in time? And then as all these things do, past life regression came into my life, and a friend of mine was doing it and she wanted someone to practice on. So I experienced physically going back in time. Then I had a couple of readings, and I was kind of like, okay, I need to learn this. And with doing the past life stuff, I ended up doing future life progression, because if you go back in time, then you can go forwards in time. And what I've found is that whatever is happening in your present quite often stems from what's gone on in the past, whether it's in this lifetime or previous lifetimes. But also that if you can go into the future and see what changes you need to make, you bring that back to your present lifetime, and relationships don't actually have the same issues anymore, and your self-belief, your self-worth aren't the same, because you've cleared stuff and you've seen where stuff is going, if that all makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. It's fascinating to me to listen to you, because I've always found it a very interesting subject, all this spiritual stuff, but I've never really delved very deeply into it, or had any sort of past life regression, or only sort of through NLP, I suppose, which is neuro linguistic programming for the audience members that don't know what that is, which is all about, you know, mastering your thoughts and your behaviors and your language. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it is. And you know, and it's quite often it's not what you think it's going to be, you know. So I've had clients that have come to see me with their own relationship issues, and you know, I'll take one lady. She was in a relationship where she couldn't quite trust him. He never gave her any reason as to why. You know, she couldn't trust him. You know, he never did anything. There was never anything obvious, and she's sort of like, you know, what, you know, why is that? And someone suggested, well, maybe you knew each other in a past lifetime, and maybe he cheated on you in a past lifetime, or did you wrong, so that's why you don't trust him now. So we actually took her back in time. And she actually went back in time, and she was actually a man. She wasn't actually a female. And her partner in this current lifetime was actually her sister. So she was now a he, and her current partner was a sister. So she kind of like went back to this man's, and basically what had happened is his sister in that lifetime had basically usurped them. So in the family dynamic of things, the sister back in the past life had actually undermined her brother, you know, and had done sneaky things, you know, behind the brother's back, that ended up with her actually taking her own life because of the lies and everything that had been told. And they had brought the energy back into the current time, because obviously, as she was the man in that lifetime, she couldn't trust her sister, and she ended up dying because of that. They'd kind of like both brought that energy into the current time. So we actually worked on clearing her issue, because obviously I wasn't speaking to her partner. It was her that I was dealing with. So we kind of like cleared that with the past life and in between lives, and looking back and what lessons could you have learned? Why did this happen? And then we got her to actually in between lives actually talk to her sister at that time, or the highest source of her partner in this lifetime, to, you know, why did this happen? You know, what was your motivation back in that time for that? And they kind of like in the in-between life worked that one out between them. So when she came back into her current lifetime, she had a completely different outset thought on her relationship with her partner. And because her energy had changed, it had the knock-on effect on his energy, and their relationship actually grew stronger, and those doubts that she had about him just completely disappeared. You know, and it's stuff he didn't even know about, but her changing her energy and her thoughts just really solidified their relationship. So it could have been a partner that cheated, and again, that sometimes, you know, that does happen. But this was something completely different. So you never know when you take people back in time where they're going to go back to, because the way I work, it's always for your subconscious to actually dictate what your higher self, what really you need to know, that's going to be of benefit, to you in your current lifetime. And again, you know, things like unfortunately domestic violence, you know, that sometimes can stem from previous lifetimes, and you just bring that energy through. You know, I had one client, bless her, she came to see me, and we went back in. She was having issues in her current relationship, a bit of violence, nothing major, but you know, it was there, still wasn't good. She went back, and she actually went back and saw herself standing by a white picket fence, and there was a house in the background. And it was kind of like America, sort of like a couple of 100 years ago. But she couldn't go through that gate to go into that house. So we took her to sort of like in an in-between sort of like space, a neutral space. You know, why can't you? Because I know if I go through that gate and into that house, I'm going to die. And it's kind of like, so you kind of like then had to get her to come back, because we needed to work on that one, because she needed to clear that issue, but you have to face it. So we kind of, so how we worked on it, that she would actually see it as a movie, that she wasn't actually in it. She could actually see it as the movie. So she actually went. So we actually finally got her to go through the gate into the house, and you know, she saw what happened, but it didn't really affect her emotionally as if she had actually been experiencing it. So she was able to have a higher perspective on it, to look at the whole picture of what was happening and what was going on around at the time and the reasons behind it. And that kind of like, sort of like her energy, again, it's kind of like it changes your energy when you understand this, when you can actually, you know, we healed it, we took the healing for it, but then we went into another lifetime, and again, she'd been in an abusive relationship. And again, we had to work and clear that. And it kind of like she hadn't really cleared it between each relationship she'd been in. But just by doing those two relationships and bringing her back to a current time, her attitude, her energy completely changed. And I mean, she kicked the relationship into touch. Which was brilliant, but she's then moved on to another relationship, but it's an equal relationship. So in her current lifetime, all her previous relationships, there'd been some kind of not always physical, but mental abuse, controlling stuff had always gone through, and her mum had, you know, her parents had been in a relationship. But she's moved on to a relationship now where that's not happened. So she's broken that cycle. And by breaking that cycle for her, in a way, she's cleared her lineage, her part, you know, her family past, so that future generations will not pick up on that energy. And again, that's the beauty of going into the past and seeing relationships and clearing them. You don't just do it for yourself, but it's your whole lineage as well, which I think is absolutely fascinating.
It is fascinating. So when she said that she couldn't go through the door because she'd die, was that in relation to that relationship in that lifetime then, at the hands of a partner who was abusive also in that relationship?
It was actually a different partner, some energy she didn't recognize. So obviously they hadn't chosen to come back together in this lifetime. So yeah, where she kind of like didn't really want to step, because again, it was someone she didn't know. She didn't recognize their energy, because quite often when you go back, you recognize someone's energy. which seems a bit strange, but you do recognize, because we all have our unique energy, no matter what lifetime we've gone through, and whether we were male, female, animal, bird, whatever, we've always got the same energy that we bring through each lifetime. It's like our signature. So it's like when you meet somebody and you go, do you know, I'm sure I've met that person before. I'm sure we know each other from somewhere, and the chances are you did in a previous lifetime, because you recognize their energy signature.
Yeah, I think that's quite common, isn't it, to have those deja vu moments where, when we meet other people, as though we have known them in not necessarily in this lifetime, but in a past lifetime. And also in, regarding places and situations as well, when we know full well we've not been to that place within this current lifetime, but we recognize it somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course we've been talking about past, but we can also go into the future as well. So you could, I mean, if you were lucky enough, okay, say you you were proposed to by two different men. You had two men in your life, and it was like, oh my God, which one should I choose? Well, what we can do is we can take you into, say, 5 years into the future with Joe, and you can actually go and see what your relationship's like, what's happening, how you're doing, how you're feeling. Then you can come back to the present. Then we can take you 5 years into the future with Mark, and you can see what your relationship is, where you are, what you're doing, etc. And you can get an idea of which of those two relationships is going to be the most beneficial for you. Which one should I say yes to? But occasionally you might not actually feel right with either of those. So then you can go into your best future relationship and actually get an idea of the person you're actually going to be with, what they look like, what they smell like, whichever way it comes to you, because people experience past and future in different ways. Some people see it as a big movie, other people hear it, other people smell it, other people just know what's happening. So you might not end up with either of those two, but someone completely different. And then that's one of the benefits. But also quite often when you take people around, say, 5 years into the future, you can actually get an idea, who are you with, who's there with you, what are they doing, what's the relationship like, what do you bring to the table, what do they bring to the table. And the beauty of all this is there's science behind it, which is absolutely brilliant, because I have a little bit of an analytical mind and I do like to question things.
Yeah.
And when they have a bit of science behind it, and lots of case studies, especially with the past life stuff, that shows that our subconscious, is an energy that goes through time and space. 95% of our waking time is our subconscious, and only 5% is our conscious. So if you think that 95% of everything that's going on really is affecting your life that you're not aware of, and you can change that by tapping into that subconscious and changing all those thoughts, those feelings, that energy that you have, you can actually change into your current. And that's all, and that's all scientifically been proven and worked on, which is why I love doing the doing the past and the present stuff, or past and the future stuff, because there's case studies and there's science behind it, so it works.
Wow. So interesting. Have you sort of got a favorite that out of the sort of two, which do you find more fascinating or interesting out of the two options of past life or future life?
I find both as fascinating as each other. I can't really distinguish the difference between them, and I never know when I start it's when I have a session, I never know which way it's going to go, because again, the subconscious decides where you're going to go. So I've had some people that have come to me because they want to go into their past, where did these issues come from? But when we try and take them into the past, they can't go into the past at all. But if I then say, okay, let's go into the future, they can go into the future. And again, it's the same, I want to, this relationship, where's it going to be in the future? We can't go into the future, but we end up having to go back into the past, because their subconscious has said, well, before you can actually see that future relationship, you need to heal and clear stuff from the past. And vice versa, you need to know where you are going, what's going to be happening, but you don't need to worry about the past, because your future will clear that for you. Because sometimes going into your future can actually clear issues that have already been there. So take one client, who she kind of like came in, and she was sort of like a bit didn't really want to be, she'd been persuaded to come along, and she went, and she was kind of like, this ain't gonna work, I'm in this relationship, I want to get out of it. So she went 5 years into the future, and it was like, well, nothing's changed, I'm still with him. This isn't working. Okay, well, what you speak to yourself in 5 years' time, what would you change in that relationship? Well, I'll do this, or I'd actually get rid of him. Okay, let's take you 10 years into the future now. So let's go an extra 5 years. What's happening there? Oh, I'm not with him. I'm actually in a relationship with someone else. Okay, speak to yourself in 10 years' time. What did you do? What changes did you make? How did this come about? And she got the answers that she needed. And when I brought her back, she actually was smiling and went, oh, I know what I'm going to do now. And she left with her energy again had completely changed.
So interesting. So is this something that you're able to do remotely, Rae, or is it something that somebody has to come to your studio or practice to be able to undergo these regressions?
No, that is the beauty of doing this, because I can do it online, because obviously energy transfers through all time and space. So as long as there's, I do like to look at the person. So as long as there's video contact, then it can be done remotely. And I record all sessions as well. And I always send the audio to the client. Some people like to listen to it back. Other people don't, because it's kind of like, well, I've sorted that out now. I don't need to. I don't need to relive that. But the beauty is I can also teach it as well. So I can actually teach people online to become future life progression practitioners who are able to work with past life regression as well. And again, that it's all beautiful because it can all be done online, which opens it up to the whole world. And especially, when you can't go out anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. We've all had to sort of change how we deliver stuff these days now that we got this COVID situation. prevalent. So yeah, that to be able to transfer your skills to being more online is a crucial in this current climate, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm guessing I had, the instinct came to me because I started doing it before everyone else started needing to go online. I'd already started working online, doing my various therapies on there. So I was pretty well established doing that when everyone else started doing it. So yeah, I mean, I still love seeing people in person. And there's just that thing when you're actually one-to-one with a person in a room, but video is the next best thing for it. Not so much audio where you can't see, because I do actually like to, I feel there's more connection when you actually can see somebody.
I agree. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because previously I used to love to deliver, live from a stage, or, at the front of a room, if it was a classroom or workshop or seminar type situation, because I love that human interaction. But I've had to transfer those skills to doing a lot of it online, doing video meetings and calls like you do now.
Yeah, it's a change, but when I can get to do the in-person stuff, then I'll do the in-person stuff.
Well, what do you think are the main benefits for, from your client's perspective, of actually going through these past life or future life? I don't know. Would you say it's regression? It's not regression when
it's progression.
Progression.
Yeah.
Regression and progressions.
Yeah, regression, progression, all the estions. Like, it can get very confusing. PLR or FLP is probably the easier way of doing it. The benefits the feedback I've got from my clients is that they actually understand why issues have affected them in their current time, why things have happened in the past, and how they're no longer happening. And when they go back, they actually feel the cleansing, the clearing of that energy, the healing taking place, and they just feel so much lighter, because it's like they don't have that baggage inside them anymore. And and when they go into the future, because they've got the clarity, they know what they're doing, what steps they need to take. They've stepped into the energy of their future self, because that's the thing we do when we take you into the future. You get to step into yourself. So you bring back that positive energy back into your current time. So you then don't have the worries or the issues. You have the clarity. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going, which allows you to be fully present. And that is, I think the main benefit is, whether you clear your past or you see your future, it actually allows you to be more present in the here and now, which means you're more in control of yourself. You actually are more loving to yourself, and you actually can take steps to be allow your true self to show out.
I think sometimes as well, like you said, that on that first case study you discussed about the woman who didn't understand why she had trust issues with her current partner. Sometimes, there's no rhyme and reason for us feeling the way we do, and that must be very, very beneficial for somebody like that particular client to understand finally, or now it does make sense, whereas previously it didn't.
Yeah, exactly, which again confuses you in your current time, because you think, I'm sabotaging my relationship here because I've got all these issues and I don't know where they're coming from. And then when you kind of like go, oh, so I don't need to sabotage that relationship anymore. I can actually have an equal relationship.
Yeah, because we say that energy doesn't lie, and if you're feeling a mistrust for some reason, then obviously that thought in itself can can cause that mistrust to manifest itself, can't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And, so I mean, it was good for her that she was able to clear that and let it go, and enjoy the relationship for what it should and could be.
Yeah, totally. It's lovely, and that's what I love when I see the change in people's energy, and they leave sort of like standing up a bit straighter.
Yeah. So like you say, because quite often we don't realize we're carrying energetic baggage, which is actually weighing us down. So that does make sense from a visualization point of view of after having the session, they've shrugged it off and are standing a bit taller now.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the beauty, and that is the beauty of it. It's like shedding, and coming back to your true essence.
Yeah, letting go of everything that's been weighing you down, even if you weren't aware that it was there. It's being, enlightened as to what it is, and feeling safe that you can release it now.
Totally. It's brilliant. I love doing it. I just love it.
Sounds a really exciting profession to be involved in. So from a point of view of any further words of wisdom around past and future life regressions and progressions, Rae, any final insights you want to share with the audience before we close up the episode?
If you feel in your current time there's issues with your relationships, and you're not sure where they come from, or you've been finding yourself repeating the same patterns, take a moment to actually close your eyes, go within, and just ask, where is this coming from? And then whatever answer is given to you is where you possibly need to go and have a look. But know that whatever is happening in your current life can be changed. You can heal it, you can change it. You just have to trust and know that you can do that. And if you connect with your inner self, your inner guidance, that will point you in the right direction to actually do that, to release that negative energy, that baggage from you.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And finally, Rae, what's your best contact information for those members of the audience that would like to get in touch with you?
Probably the easiest way would be email. And my email is rae@radiantangelenergy.co.uk.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I've really found this a fascinating conversation. As I say, it's not one that I've had with anybody else before, so it's really been interesting. And thank you so much for sharing your insights around your case studies that you've had with your clients about the benefits of actually having this sort of, I suppose, transformational option to delve into as a tool for clients.
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing to be able to share it. So thank you so much for inviting me on to share how past life and future life can actually help you. Excellent.
So it just leaves me to say, true love starts with opening our hearts. And until next time, goodbye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Hearts Entwined podcast. You can follow Lyn via the Facebook group 2 Hearts Entwined, or search Lyn Smith, inspirational speaker, at LinkedIn, or email lyn@hearts-entwined.com. That's LYN@hearts-entwined.com. Remember, true love starts with opening our hearts.